So on behalf of the Executive Council, we want to call those who have been called to missions, to headship, and then called to the office of apostle. Called to missions. Apostle Rogatien Konon, Benin, Peter, Pastor Isaac Ayrakwa, Pastor Daniel Miriku Jamra, Pastor Eric Kwame Sumwa, Pastor Jefferson Kese Chigabon, Pastor Frank Esrifi USA, Pastor Komi Foli Agbekli Togo, Pastor Gabriel Pokame Côte d'Ivoire, Pastor Kofi Kosi Matthias Côte d'Ivoire, Pastor Kwon Kwame Theodore Côte d'Ivoire, Pastor Koku Marceline Côte d'Ivoire. Appointment of area heads. The unlisted ministers have been appointed as area heads. Samuel Yao Entry, James J. Quatson, Vincent Ananidente, Sylvester Ahin, James Kwabna Asari, Daniel Yeboah Nsafo, Francis Yao Edu, James Nana Ofori, William Ohemen Kwache, Nambuke Sanja, Togo, Stephen Owusu Amponsa, USA, Patrice Odrego, W. Odrego, Burkina Faso, Adama Drabu, Burkina Faso. Call to the office of apostle, Emmanuel K. Osei Ofusu, William K. Ejohoho, William Boache Ejakon. So I'll go over there, call to the office of apostles again, and then ask, when you hear your name, please come forward. Emmanuel K. Osei Ofusu, William K. Ejohoho, William Boache Ejakon, Gideon Obin Dalkon Debra, James Tete, Philip Osei Kosa, Christian Chakwe, please you face us. Emmanuel Kwe, Norway, Edmond Apia, Finland, Joshua De Sosa, Angola, Lawrence Otu Nyakon, Guinea-Bissau, John K. Buduteria, Cameroon, Patrick Pangani, Malawi, John Ofori, Japan, Komi Changu, Togo, Akpagna K. Cephas, Togo, Komi Foli Agbekli, Togo, J.A. Onile, Nigeria, Augustine S. Kamara, Nigeria, Engmani Lomote, Canada, Victor Mendy, The Gambia.
Have thy own way, Lord. Have thine own way. Thou art the potter, I am the clay. Mold me and make me after thy will. Have thy own way, Lord. Have thy own way. Thou art the potter, I am the clay. Mold me and make Sing this one for us. May your will be done, O Lord. May your will be done in my life. At your feet I fall. Oh, my Lord, may your will be done. Nothing in my hands I bring. To your cross I cling, oh, my Lord. In mercy take me in, just as I am. May your will be done in my life.
I will proceed with reviews and appointments. Pastor Patrick, now Apostle Patrick Pangani, has been confirmed as the national head of Malawi. Evangelism Ministry, Pastor Ohene Asa Otu has been appointed Deputy Director of the Evangelism Ministry. He replaces Evangelist Francis Yawadu, who served meritoriously for 5 years. Ministerial Committee. The following appointments have been reviewed for another 4-year term. Apostle Emmanuel Jesiado, Chairman of the National Ministerial Committee. Apostle Eko Bedwood, Member. Apostle Pastor Dr. Emmanuel Eniu, Member. Prophet James Osei Ameniampon and Apostle Dr. Daniel Walker have also been appointed to be members of the committee. The following have been co-opted as members of the National Ministerial Committee. Apostle Yao Ejay Kwatin, Prophet Ebenezer Kofi Apia, Apostle Mike Kwame Tru, Apostle Vincent Ananidente, and Apostle David Nyansa Hefron. Electoral Commission. The following appointment have been reviewed for another 4-year term. Elder Emmanuel Ananibuete, Chairman of the Electoral Commission. Elder Dr. Gibson Anoentry, Member. Elder Thomas Coleman, Member. Honorable Dickness Gifty Eugenia Kusi, Member. Estate Committee. The following appointment have been reviewed for further another 4-year term. Pastor Kofi Ntwibwe Siakwa and Pastor Paul Kwejo Amwa. Pensions Board, Pastor Nathan Edujemfi's appointment have been reviewed for another 4-year term. The following have been appointed as members of Pensions Board: Elder Mike Ajalu and Lawyer Vida Che. Missions Board. The appointment of Apostle J.K. Asabel and Elder George Kofi Amponsa as members of the Missions Board has been reviewed for another 4-year term. National Discipleship and Leadership Development Committee. The appointment of Pastor Eric Ansa as a member of the National Discipleship and Leadership Development Committee has been reviewed for another 4-year term. National Evangelism Ministry. The appointment of Elder Setia Piasan as a member of the National Evangelism Ministry Ministry Committee has been reviewed for another 4-year term. PTS. Lawyer Grace Abakokombroko has been appointed as a member of Pentecost Theological Seminary Board. Lawyer Ampoma Boateng has been appointed as a member of Pentecost Convention Center Board. The first one was PTS, the second one is PCC. Apostle Samuel Capeto has been appointed chairman of the National Discipleship and Leadership Development Committee. He replaces Apostle Dr. S.K. Bedu, who retires this year. Pastor Moses Anima has been seconded to the Ghana Prison Service as chaplain. Pastor Felix Ochre-Anti has been appointed as an additional administrative secretary to the General Secretary. He replaces Pastor Daniel Mreku Jamra. Ruben Wuni has been called to the pastorate and will be responsible for the death ministry. Area youth pastors. The following pastors have been appointed area youth pastors to take charge of the youth ministry in 4 areas as follows. Pastor Percy Opoku Ahwene Dankwakaswa, Pastor David Akayue Ketekrache, Pastor Joshua Bafu Eni Obuase, Pastor Kwame Apia Kese Pepem Techiman. Traveling secretaries. 2 pastors have been appointed traveling secretary for various sectors as follows. Pastor Emmanuel Opoku Mensa Takrade, Pastor Emmanuel Pasechi Yirebi, Bolgatanga. Sorry. It is the other way around, sorry. So Pastor Emmanuel Pasechi Yirebi is for Takrade and Pastor Emmanuel Opoku Mensa is for Bolgatanga. End of missionary duty. The following ministers will end their missionary duties by September 2017. Apostle Sylvester Ahin, Apostle James J. Quatson, Apostle Daniel Yebuan Safol, Apostle James Kwabna Asari, Apostle Vincent Ananidente, Apostle Masaboezu, Apostle Nathaniel O. Ajayi, Pastor Augustine S. Kamara, Pastor David Kwabna Dosu, Pastor Joseph Prince Fabuache, Pastor Daniel Amuzu, now Apostle Victor Mendy, Pastor Nauri Bernard, Pastor Joseph Danzel, Pastor Isaac Tete Judah. I think we've done with the call to missions. We are through with appointment of area heads. Call to the office of apostle. And then chairman will proceed with the transfers. The following ministers will proceed on transfer by September 2017. Prophet E.K. Apia leaves Asinfosu for Bogoso. Apostle Mike Etru leaves Suhum for Kaneshi. Apostle A.E.K. Ekuban leaves Anya Ablekuma for Suhum. I leak you all. There was a leakage somewhere.
Yeah, it was a practical example. Being an example of Christ in my generation.
Right. So we continue. Apostle Patrick Asero leaves Kentampo for Odoko. Apostle Samuel Yao Entry leaves GPCC for Takwa. Apostle Samuel Kojo Kapeto leaves Walewale for Anya Ablekuma. Apostle Gideon Obenda Akodebra leaves Seshi Bekwai for Kentampo. Apostle Moses Ahiako leaves Sola for Ho. Apostle Sylvester Ahin leaves Australia for Asinfosu as area head. Apostle James Gabriel Quatson leaves the Gambia for Agomenya as area head. Apostle Daniel Yabua Nsafo leaves Tanzania for Kufuor Fijuase as area head. Apostle Vincent Ananidente leaves Madagascar for Seshi Bekwai as area head. Apostle James Kwamna Sari leaves Burundi for Krachin Kwanta as area head. Apostle Massa Boyzu leaves Sierra Leone for Liberia as national head. Apostle Nathaniel O. Ajayi leaves Liberia for Lagos West, Nigeria as area head. Prophet Jean Amwa Adakwa leaves Lagos West for Lagos East. Apostle Augustine S. Kamara leaves Lagos East for Sierra Leone as national head. Apostle Komi Foli Agbekli leaves Togo for Charge as national head. Apostle Rogatien Konon leaves Benin for Burundi as national head. Apostle Victor Mendy leaves New Gbawe, Accra for the Gambia as national head. Evangelist Francis Yawedu leaves Inshona for Walewale as area head. Pastor Joseph Sefa Boachi leaves Niger for Aduajiri. in Suhum area. Pastor Daniel Amuzu lives Guinea-Conakry for Tebibiano, Teshi Nungwa area. Pastor David Kwamna Dosu lives Chad for Ashama Moni Omanye. Pastor Joseph Danzel lives Congo Brazzaville for Tema Community 4. Pastor Isaac Tete Judah lives Zimbabwe for Yarefa in Medina area. Pastor Daniel Jamramriku lives headquarters for Madagascar as national head. Pastor Isaac Ayirakwe lives Efiekuma for Zimbabwe as national head. Pastor Eric Somwa lives Solpon for Tanzania as national head. Pastor Frank Esrifi lives Hartford, USA for Guyana as national head. Pastor Dr. Peter Joe Anda lives Melbourne and takes over as national head of Australia. Pastor Jefferson Kesech lives Gabon for Congo Brazzaville. Pastor Gabriel Pogame lives Cote d'Ivoire for Guinea-Conakry as national head. Pastor Kofi Kosi Matthias lives Cote d'Ivoire for Lebanon as national head. Pastor Kon Kwame Theodore lives Cote d'Ivoire for Tunisia as national head. Pastor Koku Marcelin lives Cote d'Ivoire for Niger as national head. Pastor James Nana Ofori lives Sunyain district for Mankasim as area head. Pastor William Ohemenkwachi lives Osu for Sola as area head. Pastor Frank Esrifi lives repeated. Pastor Philip Apo lives Mankasim area for Atonsu in Asokwa area. Pastor J.K. Oklu lives whole area for Efiekuma district. Pastor Felix Ostre Anti lives Techiman PRWC for headquarters as administrative secretary to the general secretary. Pastor Kwame Apia Kesipipim lives Dabokpa for Techiman as youth pastor and also as resident pastor for Techiman PRWC. Pastor Elisha Wutimbo Nambu, pardon me if from here I mentioned the names wrongly, please just pardon me. Lives Kwame Danso for Esumura in Gosu area. Pastor Brighter J. Mensa lives Chifuhamai for Kufiase in Mampon area. Pastor Edmond Yoksaki lives Kofodia for Abredunkwa. Pastor Bernard Aziz M. Abogoragu lives Kumbungu for Lameshegu in Tamale area. Pastor Amos Bimpe lives Afosu for Chechire in Obuasi area. Pastor Bismarck Frempon lives Kuntnase for Asin Aroso in Asin Fosu area. Pastor Emmanuel Kwesidari lives Defiama for Kropon in the Buakwa area. Pastor Stephen Abuaji lives at Tebu and Infie for Akrokeri in Obuasi area. Pastor Matthias Ato Amwakwan Cancer lives Coco Beach for Dodowa. Pastor Franklin M. Kwaku lives Apidja for Yoko in the Joso area. Pastor Moses Anima lives Pakro for presence service as chaplain. Pastor Percy Opoku Ahwene Dankwa lives Abotuas Lakeside for Kaswa as youth pastor and resident pastor for New Aplaku Worship Center. Pastor Emmanuel Pasech UAB lives Wapuli for Takrade. He lives Lapuli for Takrade as Spencer Traveling Secretary. Pastor David Akawie lives Avedakpa for Ketikrache as area youth pastor and resident pastor for Lakeside. Pastor Gideon Buedu Renchi lives Bolgatanga PI for Gonse in Anyablikma area. Pastor Ebenezer Ejapon lives Takrade Pensa for Inshona Graceland PRWC. Pastor James O. Ajen lives Kwansa Krum for Bolgatanga PRWC. Pastor Joshua Bafo Eni lives in Saura for Boase as area youth pastor and resident pastor for PRWC. Pastor Emmanuel Pokumensi lives Bonwire for Bolgatanga as Spencer Traveling Secretary. Pastor Emmanuel Osei Akosa lives Zuarungu for Nsaon PRWC. Pastor Jacob Kofi Agbesi leaves Prestia Himai for Kibi. Pastor Seth Kweku Ansa leaves Wasa Teku for Zwarungu Bolga area. Pastor Alex Kisiba leaves Moray for Goka. Pastor John Ochre leaves Achemako Forodua for Nkoko in Suta. Pastor Timothy Efum Edipa leaves Konongo for Jamasi. Pastor Andrew Skobna leaves Kaswa Galilee for Salpon. Pastor Joseph Kingsley Anochi leaves Goka for Half-Asini. Pastor Francis Atuansa leaves Obuasi Bidieso for Achema Koforia in the Buakwa area. Pastor Wilberforce Aduun to me leaves Ahinema Kokobin for Dompase in Asokwa area. Pastor Ebenezer Na Daleku leaves Techiman Aboso for Bodis Sonkori. Pastor Daniel Jakpa Conlan leaves Kwesio for Atebo Ahimfie. Pastor Philip Aqua leaves Ablekuma for Yoso in Gosu area. Pastor Jacob Arthur leaves Akrokre for Abofor New Town. Pastor Yao Owusue J leaves Kibi for Bibiani Chichire. Pastor George Shem Kwade lives in Koko Amanfrum for KJB. Pastor Seth Dramina Asante lives at Shemade for New Tafo District. Pastor Ahmed Anania Champon lives New Tafo for Sunyai Mredane. Pastor Bright Yao Senaya lives Abuaso for Bechele in Ashama area. Pastor Samuel Kwesiboni lives Dodoa for Agomenya District. Pastor Titus Oni lives Ankemu for Boire in New Tafo area. Pastor Akwesiam Ponsa lives Kufiase for Kintampo Newtown. Pastor Kingsford Kojo Awotre lives Pandai from Poho. Pastor James Sameni lives Sepebuo Krum for Obuasi Bidieson. Pastor Joshua Ukujo Koto lives Peki for East Airport in Cheshinungwa area. Pastor John Anama lives Oyarifa for Bantama. Pastor J.M. Yani is stationed at Temak. Please, I'll check. We have a lot of the community, so please, it's been deleted. I'll check. Pardon me. We'll come back to Pastor Yani. Pastor Augustine Anambi is stationed at Brekumanso in Asamankas area. Pastor Simon Entry lives Abradunkwa for Osu. Pastor Robert Kweku Jinasi lives Abakrampa for Kuntinasi in Asokwa area. Pastor Adote Pakpofio lives Kentampo Newtown for Kaswa Iron City. Pastor Paul Asante lives Asankar for Debison. Pastor Ransford Yao Andam lives a chairman for Kenya Brim in New Tafu area. Pastor John Viscott Akun lives at Sempana for Atomic Hill. Pastor Matthew Owusu lives Bibia Nichichere for a Chanso in Sunyai area. Swami area, thank you very much. Pastor Charles Boama Santi lives at Shama, Lebanon for Amaya in Medina area. Pastor Aaron Yauche lives Bantima for Shama, Lebanon. Pastor Richard K. Japan lives Bremai extension for Prestia Hemai. Pastor James Kwame Yinga lives Jobo for Tetegu in Odoko area. Pastor Jones Jima Ejekum lives at Drengano for Kadadrin in Dunkwa area. Pastor Ebenezer Kwakwapia lives my 3 for New Aplaku in Kaswa area. Pastor Samuel Asar Kunedu lives Adiabeba for Ashaman Chapel Square. Pastor Douglas Usa de lives Oyoko for Sampa in Brekum area. Pastor Isaac Kanane Baba lives Trede for Ahinema Kokobin. Pastor Steven Yabua lives for Sukrom for Krofufrom in Asokwa area. Pastor Ruben Mensa Adrakpanya lives Kajebi for Ablekuma Newtown. Pastor Osei Kwame Asamoah Omono lives Ablekuma Farmwell for Teshi demonstration. Pastor Solomon Kofi Adusa lives a Suombe Poso for Wasa Teku, Nasim Fosu area. Pastor Sam Opong Asarudia lives in Koko in Suta for Bremen Extension in Swami area. Pastor Matthew Kwabnabani lives North Taifa for Kaswa District. Pastor Dixon Ochedaku lives Brekumanso for Mankesip and Afon. Pastor Ebenezer Nketia lives Aferi for Asankari. Pastor Joseph Kwame Buensi lives Moniomanya for Nsawum. Pastor Samuel Kwekwa Mankuna lives Hafasini for Techima Jumo. Pastor Joseph Kwadjoteria lives Tetegu for Dunkwa Onofen. Pastor Isaac Amate Enim lives Kaswa for North Taifa. Pastor Evans Edubov Bafo lives Krofufrum in Asqa area for Konongo Extension. Pastor Daniel Nchiaje lives in Saom for Mile 3 in New Tafu area. Pastor Frederick Asantelate lives Konongo Extension for Tepa. Pastor Yao Boachi lives Dumpase for Asankra Bemai. Pastor Matthias Bogolo lives Ablekuma New Town for Bampenase in New Tafu area. Pastor Alex N.K. Upon lives Great Ningo for Tema Community 12. Pastor William Boachi Ansan lives Aduajiri for Great Ningo. Pastor William Tete Wayo lives Bodi Sonkole for Nkoko Amanfrum. Pastor David New Adepapo lives Seshi Ahibenso for Techima Jakun. Pastor Daniel Kechire Amia lives at Tonso Asokwa for Sunyain District. Pastor Kwesi Afropon Amon lives Dunkwa Kadajin for Koforidua District. Pastor Frank Anoenim lives Jamase for Trede in Kwadaso area. Pastor Frederick Kote Broom lives in Poho for Cocoa Beach Station area. Pastor Thomas Apia lives Agunan Sabah for Ntobroso in Abuakwa area. Pastor Norman Apia Dankwa lives Techima Jumo for Suhum District. Pastor Nobel Ayim lives Sampa for Mumuni in Asankragwa area. Pastor Joshua Irinchi Smart Jr. lives Esumura for Ajirengano. Pastor Stephen Ameya Frempon lives Ejiso for Tema New Town. Pastor Alex Asar lives SM for J. Kudria in Kaswa area. Pastor Stephen K. Viku lives Abofo New Town for Ho Dome. Pastor Daniel Pong Oben lives Lameshegu for Yametra New Town. Pastor Stephen Ayensu lives Asankra Bema for Ablekuma Agape. Pastor Kojo Anoma lives Navrongo for Asen Akomfode. Pastor Joseph Nyantechi Bonsra lives Seshibakwa for Asenemaso in Abuakwa area. Pastor Frederick Safo lives Asen Akomfode for Sepebro Room. Pastor John Amwate lives New JJT for Brofriedru. Pastor Emmanuel Sapon lives Chindere for Nkran Kwantai Brekum area. Pastor Peter Okpano lives Abo for Navrongo. Pastor James Buedi lives Anaji Estate for Konongo. Pastor Robert Ebo Mensa lives in Nkran Kwanta for Wa Kabanye. Pastor Ernest Buedi lives Otreso in Akimoda area for Bediakon in Gosu area. Pastor John Daute lives Sege for Edumfa. Pastor Sami Adoma Manfo lives J. Krudia for Axim District. Pastor Albert Amuafapia lives Asokore for Joma in Anyablekuma area. Pastor Eric Jacham lives Agomenya for Ejoso District. Pastor Simon Kankam lives Debiso for Biehun in Takradi area. Pastor Stephen Tetenano lives Tepa for Community 16 in Teshinungwa area. Pastor Joseph Yauntiamwa lives Wa Kabanye for Pechi in Kwadasu area. Or Pechi, that's right, thank you. Pastor John Lawe Tetewayo lives Amahia for Bawe. Pastor Martin Chemelis Biehun for Abuaso in New Tafu area. Pastor Cephas Akapo lives Kwao Trapiase for Peki. Pastor Paul Ejay lives Fumbisi for Abuaso in Techiman area. Pastor Christian Amedrovi lives Binaba for Sekojo Krum. Pastor William Apia, Britain, leaves Mirigu for New JJT. Pastor Stephen Mensah leaves Siniensi for Eche Amanfu. Pastor Emmanuel Yakwa leaves Zebila for Seshua Ahibenson. Pastor Paul Odalaye leaves Mangwase for Krasi in Kufuria area. Pastor Emmanuel Samuel Boaji leaves Abuabo for Asokore in Ejusu area. Pastor Joshua Champon leaves Bandam Kwanta for Abo in Aflao area. Pastor Daniel Kweku Aka leaves Tuobodom for Kojokumi in Goso area. Pastor John Kwejo Aka leaves Tinga for Agunan Sabah. Pastor Stephen Akosu leaves Pandai Newtown for Angloga. Pastor Francis Kwame Amewunde leaves Chifuaguna for Pandai. Pastor Enoch Amwa leaves Chagbaliri for Gomua Potin. Pastor Thompson Anani leaves Tuna for Abakrampa. Pastor Nesboachian to leave Sabinas for Kisi in Cape Coast area. Pastor Moses Arthur leaves Asebu for Seshi Bekwai. Pastor Emmanuel Tatayabua Asari leaves Akinkensu for Fosukrum in the same Debisu area. Pastor Augustus Ayimosan leaves Kenya Sebrim for Abenase in Akimoda area. Pastor Samuel Bacha leaves Kechiebi for Asebu in Cape Coast area. Pastor Samuel Brefo leaves Akweyala for Wasa Japa in Takwa area. Pastor John Hantuk Kani Entua leaves Asen Aroso for Hensua in Techiman area. Hensua. Pastor Nesenyan leaves Kojokumi for Wasa Nkunya in Dunkwa area. Pastor Samson Harrison leaves Mumuni for Murray. Pastor Barnabas Baba Virewi Kambuyure leaves Akumada Francho for Ampaha. Pastor Theophilus Bua Kumsen leaves Ampaha for Seshi Esem. Pastor Eric Kumi leaves Banso for Sege in Tema area. Pastor Joshua Majam leaves Nyoli for Akumada Francho in Suame area. Pastor Daniel Mensah leaves Sekesia for Suombe Poso in Asamankas area. Pastor Stephen Yabua Mensah lives in Nkwabe for Kwesio in Asankragwa area. Pastor Joseph Ndanyinanse Pastor Joseph Ndanyinanse lives in Soko for Donko Krum in Afram Plains area. Pastor Samson Defe lives Angloga for Chifaguna. Pastor Julius Kofi Samanyo lives Hold Dome for Boom. Pastor Kwesia Fuakwa Dia lives Teshi for Kaswa Galilee. Pastor Yije Manti lives New Town for Meduma in New Tafu area. Pastor S.B. Pencer lives Suhum for Adiababa in Asokwa area. Pastor Usasa lives Meduma for Nshona in Teshinungwa area. Pastor Isaac Ayikukwashi lives Wamaso for Disco. Pastor Colin Sai lives Bremai bedroom for Dencha Ebuakwa in Dunkwa area. Pastor George Kutaki lives Chechere for Zebila. Pastor Stephen Obenasa lives Mankesiv Anafo for Mampong Achremade. Pastor Paul Nsako lives Eshem for Chiremankuma in Kentampo area. Pastor Frederick Nyako lives Chiremankuma for Jama Drobo in Brekum area. Pastor Samuel Obianson lives Disco for Apidja. Pastor Emmanuel Ofori Opoku lives Abam Krom for Ablekuma Fanmark. Pastor Bafo Opoku lives Bichiritanga for Asempaneye in the same Debiso area. Pastor Emmanuel Paul lives Loloto for Ankamu in Winneba area. Pastor Kwabna George Opon lives Bediako from Praeso. Pastor Eric Ousu Kwanchi lives Damanko for Teshi. Pastor Isaac Koda Planch leaves Takinta for Nsoko in Techiman area. Pastor Seth Kwame Saki leaves Frankedua for Trifehemai. Pastor George Mpuamu Yenabi leaves Gomwa Porting for Wamaso in Dunkwa area. Pastor Michael Gau Blantyne leaves Mafikumase for Akweyala in Asankragua area. Pastor Sylvester Eya lives at Axim for Treso in Akemoda area. Pastor George Ajimai lived on Kokrom for Chechire in Dunkwa area. Pastor Andrew Sapia Samuel lives Wasajapa for Anaji Estate. Overseer Paul Achukofi de Kaglo lives Abutia for Achem Ekropon in Asamakas area. Overseer Emmanuel Awudi lives Gonsef for further studies. Overseer Fred Amakohene has been called a station at PTS as assistant lecturer. Pastor J.M. Yani is now posted to Tema Community 1. Thank you very much, Chairman.
Praise the Lord. That is the white paper. We will invite those who are going to missions field to come forward. Missions field. And specifically those who are not apostles or evangelists.